So it's really early in the morning, 5:30 for me. That's more middle of the night than early morning. I do prefer to train later rather than early. But, you know, it's training with a specialist. They tend to jump in very early, and that's really what's made me strong over the winter. You know, swimming with a guy who swims 14:57 over a long course, 1500. That's just impressive stuff. And even if I can keep up with his warm-up, I've already done a great session. And that's really what it's come to in the triathlon. You know, Olympic distance racing, the swim, you can't necessarily win the race, but you can definitely lose the race. And throughout the winter, I prepare doing about 25 to 30k a week. Sometimes I put in a 40k a week just to, you know, have a swim block. You know, to give you an idea of reps, if we do 2100s or something, we'll be leaving somewhere around 120, 125, and coming in on 112, sort of just as a base set, you know, to make sure that we've got enough mileage. And then the harder sets, obviously, you know, they range to anywhere. I mean, one of my favorite sets given to me from a South African swim coach is 4x400s, 4x200s, and 4x100. Each time the 400s leaving on 5 minutes, the 200s leaving on 2:30, and the 100s leaving on 1:15. So that's a massive set, and if I can finish that, if I can actually, you know, be there and finish it, then I know I'm in great shape, and then I don't have to worry about the swim leg. First run of the day, it's a bit of a warm-up to get started and basically get used to the feel of the land again after the swim. It's just a 10k warm-up jog. I just do a little loop to get to the track, and then on the track I love to do some drills, some technical stuff to work on my stride, to work on my speed. I do some sprints just to make sure, because, you know, I'm doing a lot of mileage. I'm running anywhere between 130 and 160 Ks on an active training week, which is, I think, some really big mileage if you consider the other two sports. And therefore, I've got to make sure that I just don't go slow. You know, you can do X amount of mileage and it's great. You can run 160, you can run 200 kilometers a week. But if you're considering intensity, and that's the big thing about the ITU and the Olympic distance racing, is obviously intensity. On this specific day, I did 2 hours. It was more a warm-up than anything else. I'm just spinning out the legs, you know, sort of easy 60 Ks over the hills of Stellenbosch. That's generally something I like to do, is to prepare my run sets, my hard run sets with a bike ride, just to be very specific and get my legs used to running strength-orientated rather than speed-orientated. You know, we tend to run very strength-based, and I find that the riding before big run sets just tends to warm me up for that. And generally on the bike, I mean, I obviously do a lot of mileage. You know, I think my biggest weeks on the bike would be around 750 Ks. Off the bike, get changed, a so-called brick session where I'm running straight off the bike, and I started off doing 2x2 kilometers uphill, an active rest down the hill. It's, again, you know, for me, being a tall, fairly heavy guy in terms of a runner, you know, I'm 193 centimeters. I need to do a lot of strength work, make sure I'm up there, and I really struggle on uphill runs. I then went on to go to the track, do a set of 2400s with a 200-meter active rest, which I ran at race pace, or actually just below that, sort of repping in 69, 70 seconds for the 400s, and then taking about a minute or 50 seconds for the 200. It's just something that's obviously a conditioning at a fairly high pace. And after a long day like this, it absolutely hurts. You know, there's no doubt about it. It's got a mental aspect to it. It's getting dark, and you're getting hungry, and it's really tiring. So somehow that's the one side of it where you really have to, you know, try and focus. The other side is obviously that you're thinking, this is great. You know, I'm out here. The sun is setting. It's getting dark. It's my favorite time of the day to run, because it's it's just got this unique atmosphere to it, and it's giving me goosebumps almost just to go out there and think that I'm the only one. Everyone else is sitting at dinner. Everyone else is maybe doing a stretch, going to bed, and I'm out here hammering myself. And that's what I love doing about the sport. You know, the intensity is really what thrives me and what gets me going. Sort of the idea of taking a few guys on to the sprint finish. That's really what makes the Olympic distance so unique, and I just absolutely love it.